And welcome back. The ARCA Racing Series 250 from Talladega Superspeedway coming through the tri-oval. Just 3 wide that time. You see Steve Arpin in the 55. Our point leader in the ARCA Racing Series. Just in front of him, his teammate Mikey Kyle. Out in front of this field, it is that 31 of Tim George Jr. being followed closely by the 81 of Craig Gose. Joey Coulter running in the 3rd spot back there in the 16. Tom Hessert in the 77 is 4th. And Bill Baird in the 52 running in the 5th position.
We've completed 40 laps right now. And remember, the 6 cars that have not pitted yet, they're not in imminent danger of having to come to pit road because we've had a number of caution laps, and that will increase the fuel mileage. But I think right now they're probably saying, you know, I'd like to see a caution maybe in the next 4 or 5 laps.
They're going to get it. It looks like, Ricky Carmichael's going to hang on to it. How about that save out of Ricky Carmichael in the 4?
That was incredible.
Ricky Carmichael gets an A+ on that. That was a fantastic save.
I'm guessing right now he's trying to catch his breath.
Yes, he is.
Wow. That's about it.
Problems again. We had contact down on the bottom of the racetrack.
That's Kyle Martell.
Kicks that 43.
You don't lose that much ground if you don't let up.
And it doesn't look like he did much. Ricky Carmichael still up on the high side.
Just take a look back at Ricky Carmichael's ride through the tri-oval here just a lap ago. Look right of your screen, the number 4 car. Looks like maybe Dakota gave him a little nudge. Ricky was all over the racetrack. If he loses control, he's going to take out at least 6-8 cars anyway.
Minimal.
There's another view. Watch, there's a little bit of contact, a little bit of nudge from Dakota. Remember, this is supposed to be the front straightaway. It's banked 16 degrees, but it's very much a turn. And that turned Ricky sideways.
Carmichael able to hang on. And then as some of the cars move down to the bottom, that 43, Kyle Martell gets pushed down below the double yellow line.
Hey, remind these drivers that we have 52 laps to go.
I think Ron Drager and Joe Wells are doing that probably right now over the radio, saying, guys,
well, this is when your buddies start helping you.
Or they think they're helping you.
Or think they're helping you.
Brandon McReynolds in the 6 is slowing off the pace now. You see him below the double yellow, and we're seeing steam come out at the base of the windshield. That's where the overflow is. So maybe some overheating and some smoke coming out the back of that race car as well.
And maybe terminal. Tough break for Brandon's first ever start here at Talladega. Was doing a great job, stayed in the lead draft the entire race.
He had got a start earlier this year when he was in Salem, finished 26th.
They had engine trouble in that race that relegated him to that poor finishing position.
They're going to raise the hood, which never is a good sign. Jim?
Well, guys, just a moment ago, Allie Owens came down pit road. They thought they blew all the water out of that race car. Same issues for Brandon McReynolds. The car's running extremely hot. They've got the hoses now out to get that car flushed and filled on pit road, losing valuable time here for ESR. Eddie Sharp Racing again running hot here on this warm afternoon. It's all taped up in the bottom, and now they peeled that tape away last caution. So not enough air getting into this engine for Eddie Sharp's Toyota here to keep Brandon McReynolds on the racetrack.
Meanwhile, we have a side-by-side battle for the lead. Tom Hessert has his teammate Dakota Armstrong right behind him on the outside.
Trying to make that outside run work. Tim George Jr. on the inside, leading the inside line. Can Hessert make the pass?
And every one of these guys back there 4 or 5 back pushing, trying to say, let me help you, let me help you.
That outside line with Hessert and Armstrong made a huge run in the last lap and a half, and they were like 6th and 7th back there, and they caught right up real quick.
Grant Infinger in the 09 is behind the 22 of Dakota Armstrong. Those two have cleared the 31, and so they duck to the bottom of the racetrack, and that's teammates working together.
It looked like the 31 if Tim George just slammed on the brakes. They had such a run from the outside. Now they have some lap cars they have to negotiate. Remember that we're too wide here. Now we have to give those lap cars room on the bottom.
Field begins to fan out as they go by those slower lap cars on the racetrack. It's Tom Hessert, your new leader at Talladega Superspeedway. Dakota Armstrong running second. Coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on Speed is brought to you by Burger King, who remind you to have it your way. By Ansel, for over 100 years, the world leader in hand protection. And by #1 scratch rated doctor, the Scratch Doctor. Keep your car looking great with Scratch Doctor. Closing in on the halfway mark for the ARCA Racing Series, the 5th event of the 2010 season. Out in front of this field, it's the 77 of Tom Hessert. Wendy.
It was definitely teammates working together before these laps where they've spread out in 2 rows, but between Tom Hessert and his teammate Dakota Armstrong, he took them with him when they went out front. Now Tom Hessert finished 4th so far, is his best finish in the ARCA Series back at Palm Beach. Tom really wants to gain some points. He's one of our ARCA Series regular, and he dropped 2 spots to 6th after his 20th place finish in Texas.
Grant Enfinger, that red car on the outside right now running in the 3rd spot, going to be side by side with the 77 of Tom Hessert in a moment. He finished 3rd here in this race last year, runs a limited schedule, finished 3rd last week at Texas, always runs extremely well.
Starting to see a pattern. We're seeing that outside line push the guy up to the lead. We just saw Grant Enfinger do it to Dakota Armstrong. So Dakota Armstrong now out in front as we pass the halfway point.
Remember the 22 car and the 77 car, our teammates. Looked like Tom Hessert thought about maybe moving to the outside of Dakota Armstrong, wasn't able to gain any ground, and that allowed Tim George, the 31, to get side by side with him on the inside.
But it also positioned him in front of Grant, who might be able to push him right back up there, I think.
Here comes that run on the outside. That 82 car with Sean Corr's done a great job right now running up in the top 7 or 8 positions. Look at Frank on the outside making it 3 wide.
Again, Frank getting a lap back after he had a tire go down, had to come onto pit road, then was penalized for speeding on pit road.